Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I thought we'd do a project fixing some of the stuff on my mini lathe. One of the things I wanted to take care of is my steady rest. I put out a video about 2 months ago called Fixing My Steady Rest. I really didn't fix anything. I was able to get through the project by adjusting how I machine these fingers to hold the part. But that wasn't the problem, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But what I want to do is get a bigger, stronger steady rest. And I had one sitting right here, and this is it. It's kind of big. But what I have to do is modify this thing to make it work. And that's what I thought I'd do, is start a project modifying this. And let's sit down at the table and I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. Let's do that. First of all, this little steady rest. One of the problems were that this whole thing, the part that's supposed to be holding your material, it actually bends. It was opening and closing when I was really trying to take heavy cuts. That's the 0 to 1, and this is a 0 to 2. This thing is good enough for little 3/8 inch, 1/4 inch material, and I'm going to keep that just the way it is. But this one, I don't know, it just don't seem to work with bigger material. But I'm sure this one will work. What I want to do is cut this off and machine a new plate, a new bottom to fit on the ways of my mini lathe. So I guess the first thing I need to do is measure how much I have to cut off of this to make it work. And there's other things wrong with it. The center of this, the 3 fingers that come out, this top one is way off center. And I'll show you that more in a little bit. But right now what we want to do is see how much we need to cut off of here. And that would be bringing it back over to the lathe and start measuring stuff. Let's do that. I'm not sure how I want to do this. This is backwards. Setting it down the way it is on here seems to be just fine. Seems to be level. So what I need to do is find out from the center of this the top of this tool is the center height. I'm going to have to put a tool in here, something in here, sticking it out so I can get a measurement here. Okay, I have a pin with a point turned on it, and that seems to go right in here. It looks like it's sitting in the right place. So what I need to do is get a measurement from the height of this to the center of that, which looks to be, that ain't gonna work. I can't get over there that close. All of this is still in the way. Have to do that some other way. I have this little adjustable square. Set that on top of the tool. Let's set it at 2.5 inches. Eyeball the squareness. That's still not close enough. Like I said, it's set at 2.5 inches. It's 2.5 inches from the bottom of this to the top of the scale. And that looks, I don't know, 1/8 inch or so. I'm going to readjust this to 2 3/8. That looks about right. That looks like this is right at the center of that pin. That's 2 3/8. All right. But is this pin in the center? I can't be sure of that measurement unless I know that these fingers are actually in the center. I guess to tell that, if I can get this pin to sit on the center line of these two fingers, which actually I think they do. So I guess that measurement was good, 2 3/8. But look at this center. The center top finger is way off. It looks like that's about 3/16 of an inch off center, going front to back. I'm going to have to fix that too. Okay, let's go jot down those dimensions. There's 2 3/8 inches. It was sitting on this surface. I could use my height gauge. I could set this on something and touch off, zero my height gauge, come up 2 3/8 and scribe it. So from here up, I need to remove 2 3/8 inches. That's what I'll do. The only plate, I like to use stuff that I have. I found this piece of cold rolled steel. It's tack welded to this round stock. I don't know what it is or why I had it, but I bet you I could set this. I'll set that on here. I'm going to touch off on my height gauge here, come up 2 3/8 and scribe a mark, if that's feasible. Let's go get my height gauge. I have a scriber chip put on here. I'm going to touch off on there. That's 0. 2 3/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 75. Lock it. And let's scribe wherever that is. It's not just going to be sitting on that. Like I said, I have to make a plate on there. And this is 1 inch stock. So I have to cut off another 1 inch to sit on there. What I was going to do is, over here on the lathe, I need to make the plate just like this one here. This one sits real nice. It goes over the flat part of the way and a 90 degree. It sits nice and flat. Some of them are crooked. This one, I was lucky it was really flat. So I want to duplicate this, just make it a little longer. Probably that width. And about 1 inch thick, 3/4 inch thick. But let's start by taking that larger steady rest apart and then getting some dimensions here. Let's do that. You know, there's a lot of other things wrong with this. Before I cut this off, I need to get a plan together I need to put this back on center. I'm going to bring these up till they just touch on the bottom. They're touching equally on the bottom. And if I bring this down, it appears as though I don't know how to show you guys this. It's about 1/8 inch off center. You could also see that this whole thing was mounted about 1/8 inch. You could see it here. The casting's going this way. Where it closes, you could see the casting over here. The whole top is moved over about 1/8 of an inch. So I guess what I have to do is move this pivot point. I can do that easy enough by enlarging that hole. Put this in the right place and enlarge that hole for a new pivot pin. But that's later. The first thing is cutting this. Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is take this thing apart and let's get this out of the way before I break it. And let's see what I need to do. You know, after I get this all apart and cut, I need to machine that straight across here. I have 3 bosses that have been machined flat. I can bolt that to a angle plate that I know is square, clamp it on or something, and then machine it. Something like that. I'll come up with something. But first, just getting it apart is the most important. I need a small screwdriver to get these out so it slides out. Like little set screws or dog screws or something. They look like dog point screws. Yeah, I thought they would just slide out. I should have a little can here, otherwise I'm going to lose those things. Projects like these usually take a while to get finished. But when I'm done, I'm going to have a pretty decent steady rest, I believe. Cotter pin. Need a pair of pliers. Or a hammer. That thing's in there. I'm going to need a hammer. All right. That will be good enough for cutting this. When I machine this, I think I'm going to put this back on and make sure it's all clamped real tight so that I can use these three bosses. Boy, that's pretty, that's not even wobbly. Let me lay that down here. That seems to sit pretty flat on these. All right. I think we need to get over to the saw and just saw this off. All right, I cut that down. This is what I have extra. There's some nice tight, looks like meionite, not cast iron, just regular cast iron. I'm gonna save this. I'll make something out of it. Before I level all of this off, what I need to do is get some dimensions off of the tailstock. Let's measure, let's put this stuff away and then I'm gonna measure everything up. Let's do that. All right. I need an angle plate to hold this. Let's go get an angle plate. All right, I went and got a angle plate, and I also got some 1, 2, 3 blocks. I got a dowel pin to set in the groove. I started to set up the angle plate. This is in the way, the chuck is in the way, everything is in the way, and I don't want to take it apart. So that's why I grabbed the 1, 2, 3 blocks. This surface is just as flat and square as the rest of this thing is going to be. Even being boosted up, the angle plate, what I'm getting at is this here is still, that's for that raises and lowers. It locks the steady rest onto the ways. All I really want to do is get a dimension. I want to get a dimension from the top of this pin to the top of the flat here. I'm going to do that with my surface gauge, this pin, and some gauge blocks. I'm going to zero this out and just keep building up gauge blocks until I get an equal amount. Let's do that. All right, I'm going to zero this out. Zero, let's see. There's a tenth or so over. Okay, that's zero. Now, I'm going to set up some gauge blocks. Just for the heck of it, where am I about? 300 and something. I'm going to start with 310. Okay, 310. Nothing. I'm going to go up 5 thousandths, 315. Get a 115 and a 200. Slip it under there. It's starting to move. Let's see. It's like 22 and a half. I like 5. I need to go up 7 more. I'm just going to go to get 120. All right. That's 320. Exactly 3 thousandths under. That would be 323. Okay, I got a 200 and a 123. It's just a couple of tenths over. That's like 3 tenths max. It doesn't have to be that exact. Okay, that's 323. I need to draw that up, make another sketch. And this is just going to be a rough sketch. Let's see. We'll say these are the gauge blocks, and that's 323. And there's a dowel pin. That's parallel. You can tell that's parallel, can't you? And that is a 1/2 inch dowel pin. 1/2 inch. Okay. Let's look at some material that I'm going to use. All right, that's a pretty half-ass sketch, but it'll work. A 1/2 inch dowel pin. The material I'm going to use to make that's for the little plate that goes underneath the steady rest and clamps onto the waist. I'm going to go with this piece of 1 inch. Cut this piece off of here. I don't know what the hell this was. Anyway, I'm going to make that plate 4 1/4 by 2 1/4, because when I put this V in there, I want to be able to shave some off of each side. We're going to call that from the end to the center of the V, 750 thousandths. All right. And we will go down with that V until when I put a dowel pin in there and a gauge block, it's 0, 0. That sounds easy enough. Okay, then I'm going to need some holes and stuff in there. But first of all, I want to get a block. Let's make a block. I got 4 1/2 here. Didn't I say a 4 1/4? 4 1/4. I say one thing, I write something else. Okay, 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then I'm going to put plate on there and recenter that other part to see where it's going to go. I guess the next thing for me to do is start chopping this thing up. It looks like this is going to take a while. I think what we're going to do is wrap this video up. We have a good plan so far, and I'm going to cut this piece off camera, and when we bring you back with the next video, we'll start doing some machining. Okay, so I guess with that, I'm going to have to say, until next time, enjoy.